I have attention deficit disorder, and I will be more than happy to contribute my insights as a healer, especially the healing I've done it in terms of my energy healing modality, vortex healing. Because the one thing that it teaches me is your ability to function with attention deficit disorder, and then there is your relationship with attention deficit disorder. And the one thing that you learn very early on is that don't use the word, how can I control my ADHD? Get that out of your vocabulary. It's a very problematic word. All right, that's one thing that you learn. It's even quite almost like a spiritual transcendence. Okay, ADHD teaches you that there are some things beyond your control, and you have to accept that. That's almost like a spiritual surrender. So, therefore, the best word that I have is, what can I do to bring structure to my attention deficit disorder? And structure works. Structure allows for flexibility, okay? You're having a hard time focusing on the road, but at least you have enough structure that you can travel to your destination. And another thing about your relationship with your attention deficit disorder is the issue of trauma. Before you finally get diagnosed, before you get on medication, before you establish more structure and focus with medication and so forth, you do have to really be very honest in your own emotional self-awareness of how much trauma it's caused you, the misunderstanding it's caused you with loved ones, family, and friends, and also in your professional life, which, and both my professional and my personal life was hurt horribly before I was officially diagnosed. And healing your trauma is around that is a big part of that. So when I started healing the my trauma on attention deficit disorder, that's when I realized that my relationship changed. Because before, my ADD quirks, my inability to focus and not get things done, when I realized what it was doing, I'd be like, oh God, I mean, just so getting down on myself was just so part of the norm. But I keep doing this healing around ADHD. And the more I realize that I don't need to do that, okay, the more healing I do, the less I trigger myself when my ADHD acts out. Okay, I get distracted and I realize what I'm doing. I don't go, ah, I just say, okay, back I go. All right, that's a discipline. All right, to not take it personally, to not to heal that part of you that thinks you're broken or whatever. All right, to just, all right, this ADD quirk, it is neither good nor bad. It is just a neurological quirk. It is something that is neutral. So you lose focus and then you refocus, and you do it as many times, and it's a discipline to not take it personally. And probably the best metaphor I have for this is my father was a huge jazz fanatic. He loved jazz. I wasn't thrilled with jazz, but I learned to appreciate jazz through him. And there was the jazz that was very, very structured in terms of its and what was played, and then there was the freeform jazz, like Coltrane, and he would just go off in as many different directions as he could with that instrument that he was playing. Just an utter, incredible, prolific, brilliant display of improv and spontaneity. But it was still part of the tune. It was still part of the brilliance of the tune. So that is the best way that I can use in terms of becoming more into wholeness with your ADHD, accepting it more, accepting the structure of it more. That just because who you are is rather chaotic and unpredictable, there is an aspect of incredible creative potential and spontaneity. All right, just because it comes across as chaotic doesn't make it any less of a beautiful, brilliant melody. So I hope that metaphor helps. You can still be an awesome melody because you don't need structure, because that's creativity. And I'm a very creative person. All right? Spontaneity, finding meaning, finding direction, finding inspiration through the chaos. That's how my attention deficit disorder challenges me. you can still be a beautiful chaotic memory, and you can still be brilliant at it.